Hey guys, Default here. Today I'm going to give you guys a new video today. And before I start, just a disclaimer, this is a rant video. So anything I say is not meant to offend anybody, not to make anybody mad, not make anybody sad, not make anybody turn away, or basically just look at me in a different way. Um, and I wanted to rant about the whole Switch 2 thing. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube shorts, YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram Reels, a lot of comments too, a lot on Nintendo's tweets and stuff like that. And I just wanted to address, or at least address, the elephant of the room, because a lot of YouTubers also, or some YouTubers, don't get the the value of this console, I guess, if that makes sense, or the understanding of why the pricing is like this. So I wanted to address this basically. And I'm not a big YouTuber, so I'm just, again, this is just my own opinion of what I think this is the reason why it's like this. So yeah. But anyways, if you guys like any other content besides this ranting video, I don't normally do ranting videos a whole lot. Um, but if you guys like different type of stuff like collectibles, video games, tech tips, etc., please subscribe to this channel. Please leave a like down below and comment down below if you're gonna buy the Switch 2 or not. But anyways, let's get right into the topic. So I did record this video like once, and it was like a whole hour and a half, and I just didn't want to do a whole hour and a half of uploading that whole thing because it's going to be unedited, and it's just basically my whole statement of the whole thing. So I wanted to kind of like shorten that a little bit. So first of all, I've seen a lot of comments on any social platform saying that, oh, at least particularly mostly the TikTok ones, because they over exaggerate and they don't honestly give you the honest truth of like how much this console is going to be, because everybody thinks like, oh, it's $500 to pay for the Nintendo Switch 2, which, yes, because of tax, and depending on which area or where you are, it's $500, I guess, just for the base price of it. But the thing is that if you're willing to at least splurge a little bit more money, you can also spend $500 plus tax with the Mario Kart World game. But keep in mind also that you are being bundled with a game for $500 plus tax. Um, I don't see PlayStation really honestly doing that a whole lot besides bundling stuff for Black Friday deals. Lately, they haven't been doing that, at least by far that I've seen, at least over at GameStop, because usually GameStop sells those type of things. But it's mostly on Black Fridays, which they last year it was the Fortnite, and I think it's called FC 2024 or something like that. I don't know. That was last year, by the way. And the year before that was Spider Man 2, Modern Warfare 3, and I think it was FC 2023 or something like that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, they only bundle those usually every Black Friday or holiday season, so that's the only times when PlayStation's never greedy to release a bundled console with the game. Um, and not only that, on top of it, so just to say for an example, I'm gonna give an example. The PlayStation 5 Slim alone is $500 MSRP retail price. And not only that, the online for PlayStation Online. Keep in mind that the PlayStation Online is probably not the greatest online service in the whole world, including the fact that their servers have lately been kind of garbage lately. You're spending at least $80. The premium price of $80 a year. Yes, it's only a year, but the thing is that the $80 that you get, basically the extra $20 that you get, is very, very minimal. The only thing that you really honestly would want to spend the $80 for is obviously paying the year so you can talk to your friends and play with your friends and stuff like that. And not only that, you do get some free games monthly. Some of them are kind of just shovelware games, or some of them that you've already technically owned. And not only that, the fact that the classic catalog is very, very small, at least by far that I've seen the last time I had PlayStation Plus, which was like a year ago. Uh, but to me, it wasn't really worth it. It was like last year that I had the PlayStation Plus, and I only played it. At least I had the premium for at least a month or two, And I was kind of like, this is not really worth it because the only game I'm really technically playing is either Call of Duty and Spider Man. So I don't see, or GTA in that matter. So I don't see the benefit of having that. Not only that, the monthly games that I've gotten, at least, but at the time, was like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I can't remember. It was like a Resident Evil game. I can't remember. It was like last year. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, I didn't see the benefit of spending at least for a month. I believe it's like maybe like 20, $30. I don't remember how much it was for the premium. At least for monthly. If you paid yearly, it would be like 80 something dollars or something like that. But yeah, lately PlayStation's been the most greedy one, and I'm honestly calling it out because somebody to or I can't remember the creator of the PlayStation company or whatever saying that Nintendo's being or sorry, Nintendo is losing their identity. Keep in mind that Nintendo has always done the most gimmicky stuff for their consoles, and Nintendo lately has been not losing their identity. They physically put out a console that you can use both Joy Cons, and keep in mind that the Switch 2 has already been basically the fixed version for the Switch. That everybody wanted better versions of the Joy Cons. They wanted bigger versions of the Joy Cons. Not only that, instead of using the rails and everything like that, everybody was complaining that the Joy Cons didn't feel stable enough. Blah blah blah. Now they fixed the issue of magnetics. And then not only that, voice chat, which everybody didn't want to use the voice chat app. Remember the voice chat app nobody ever used? Yeah, they fixed that issue. And not only that, they also had AAA support for different other games or AAA titles. Sorry if I believe I said that correctly. AAA titles, so like Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII integrated. Yes, I know those are older games, but you got to keep in mind that a lot of people still play those. Everybody's gonna say, no, no, we don't really play those games. Let's be honest here, we still play those games no matter what because those games are fun and they still like uh, have uh, a an impact to us. Because come on, like who hasn't downloaded Cyberpunk on several different consoles, including Steam Decks and whatever. So yeah, I mean, who hasn't? To be honest with you, so anybody that tells me that but those are older games, we still technically play those. I mean, there's still people that are still playing Fortnite and Minecraft and GTA 5 and etc. etc. So I don't get the fact that we're finally getting AAA title support from like different companies now to the point where nobody really gives a shit. I'm sorry to cuss, but nobody really gives a damn about the fact that Nintendo Switch 2 literally is trying to satisfy you. And yet again, when they show that price tag, you're just kind of like, oh no, it's too expensive. $450. You do realize that a Steam Deck alone currently right now, is like close to 450 right now. At least for the OLED version. And not only that, you still have to pay for the games, which by the way, there are $70. And yeah, you still have to spend at least $500 to even get remotely close to that. Yes, you could emulate your Steam Deck and end up getting it for free, but in a legitimate customer, say for an example, for somebody like me or just somebody getting gifted this, they still have to spend money no matter what. So $450 or $500 is not going to hurt you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The PS5 itself, you are spending at least $580 out of the gate, to be quite honest with you. Not only that, you still got to spend $70 for a game that you still need to play or to buy in that matter. Like, say for an example, you have to pay obviously the console plus tax plus the online plus the tax of the game that you were willing to pay, whatever the game may be. I'm just assuming it's going to be $70 to $60. So you're still spending over $500 for a PlayStation 5 console, not including also Xbox, but Xbox in a whole different manner. You could technically just buy the console or basically the Xbox Series X, or you don't even have to technically buy the console itself because you can play it on PC. But I'm just gonna be, a normal customer and still purchase a console. And the cheapest, the most affordable one is the Xbox Series S, and it's like about $300 to $330. So I don't get why people are complaining about pricing about this console when they literally, Nintendo, again, has literally answered all the issues that we had in the first Switch. The voice chat, the lack of games that we've gotten, because geez, I can tell you this right now, the eShop right now is full of shovelware games. A lot of indie shovelware games, even mobile games in that matter. The better Joy-Con support, which honestly they are bigger, not only that, probably more sturdier than you think. And IGN also showed a clip of them attaching it and trying to shake it off. I mean, obviously, I don't know what are people saying in the comments right now, saying that like, oh, it's gonna wear over time. I mean, if you're continuously doing this, yes, it's magnets. I don't know any like magnetism, um, anything like that. I'm not a scientific person, but I can tell you this right now. Over time, yes, I believe that magnets do wear out, but you could still technically buy new Joy Cons. I mean, Nintendo has been the company. I'm just saying this right now. Been the company, and I'm going to show an example. Been the company that has the most durable consoles ever. I mean, come on. The rechargeable batteries, a majority of all rechargeable battery handheld consoles have last decades, and I mean decades, for a very, very long time, and they still work to this day. Shoot, this 3DS is about like, I don't know, like 7 years old alone, and they haven't even changed the battery at all, and it works fine. So knock on wood. And not only that, just to even show you proof, I mean, this is completely different. This Game Boy, I have not changed the screen at all, and it still works perfectly fine. I still need a warm light for it, but this is just the OG way to play the Game Boy, and it still works till this day, even if I dropped it. And it still works to this day. Same thing as the 3DS. I've dropped it at least once or twice, and I still managed to have that thing working. So I don't get the fact that every time when PlayStation, remember that vertical thing that you had to freaking, when you had your PlayStation 5 and you kept it vertical, the whole metal liquid that was in the PlayStation would start melting and start overheating your PlayStation. That doesn't seem very appealing to compare to a console that actually isn't innovating anything. To, have mouse Joy Cons, to have better voice chat, to have a bigger screen. By the way, everybody's complaining about the Switch having a smaller screen. There you go, a 7.9-inch screen. Not only that, runs at 120 frames per second at 1080p. Remember, the original Switch wasn't running at 1080p on handheld. Not only that, it had 4K support, so then you connect it to your TV and have 4K support. So I don't get the fact that every single time when Nintendo tries to appease us, everybody somehow switches it and be like, ironically I said switches it. Ironically, people switch to like, oh, well, it's not really worth the price, blah, blah. I think it's worth the price. $450 plus you get Cyberpunk with the console, or not exclusively, but you still get it on a handheld console, on a Nintendo console that includes Pokemon, Metroid, Zelda, legitimately, not piracy, legitimately, but you still get the simple fact that you are owning a Nintendo console that has the most gimmicky thing, which is the mouse Joy-Cons. I know that's not the biggest thing in the whole world, but at least it's something gimmicky. I mean, it still has the gimmick of detaching the Joy-Cons and putting them back together. That's still a gimmick, technically speaking. Yes, it is called the Switch 2. Yes. But otherwise, then you would call the different iterations of the Xbox or PlayStation, they're technically the same iterations to each other. So I don't get the simple thought process of majority of the people that think that this is not worth it. It is very well worth it. And I'm not trying to be, dogging everybody or being very, very negative and saying like, oh, you guys are all wrong or something like that. No, that's not my intentions. Again, that was the whole point of the beginning of this part of the video, that I did not want to upset anybody. But to the point where everybody's saying that Nintendo is being greedy, they're being, they're not listening to the customers, blah, blah, blah. They want us to, or want them to drop the price, etc. Because the whole tariffs and because everybody's blaming the economy and stuff like that. I'm going to keep this in mind right now. I work a part-time job, and I can guarantee you that yeah, I cannot live off paycheck to paycheck monthly, but I can tell you that $450 compared to a PS5 that I still have to spend $80 plus $70 the game and tax all in general. I'm not going to be satisfied with the PlayStation console that I basically don't even really honestly play, that it doesn't even seem worth it to me. Not only that, like the $80, what are you spending the $80 on besides just playing with your friends with the $70 game that you paid for? I'm going to use an example, Black Ops 6, okay? Because that's the only thing that I can think of that uses online theoretically. That's what usually everybody compares it to, especially for spending $80 online. What the hell are you gonna play online for? Because majority of all games that people play nowadays is Marvel Rivals, Fortnite, and Valorant or Apex Legends or whatever. So those have their own servers that you don't even need online, technically speaking. I mean, I guess if you don't want to spend $80 and you just want to play those games, I guess that makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to play like the heavy hitter games, Call of Duty and stuff like that, you still have to spend $80 for online for a year. So, you know, uh, even Xbox, you only pay $20 a month and maybe $50 for 3 months for Game Pass, and you still get online access. You get access to several thousand different games, including older ones. Not only that, get perks, certain perks. By the way, people underestimate Xbox and Nintendo like a whole big margin because Xbox Game Pass provides perks. Not only that, discounts. I don't think PlayStation provides discounts besides for only PlayStation Plus players, that are not a very big percentage of discounts, but they still kind of give them discounts. But on Xbox, you can get Xbox Game Pass discounts by 40 to even 50% off, depending on what game that they have available for whatever they have. So not only at the perks that you get on Xbox Game Pass, you get movies, you get Discord Nitro for 3 months, you get several different perks to other stuff that you don't even really know what it is, to be honest with you. You could get like EA coins because I don't know why the fuck are you buying EA coins in that matter. Um, but yeah, you have an option, and again, 1,000 different games compared to like maybe like the most minimal of like 500 games. On Game Pass, you literally have a long list. Like you can literally go on Xbox and just keep scrolling, keep scrolling. You're like, oh my god, like they have all the Gears of War games. So there you go. On PlayStation, you only get like Uncharted series, maybe like one or two of them, and then it will take them out and then put the other set. So yeah, I rather pay $20 or $50 in that matter to have Game Pass than spend $80 and get just the bare minimum, basically just bare bones of a online service. So yeah, if you really want to be, and again, Xbox is also not uh, the only benefit also, but also Nintendo too, because you do pay $60 for expansion pack because you get Game Boy Advance support, Game Boy Color, SNES, NES, Sega Genesis, not only a GameCube in that matter, and an expansion pass. You get online, yes, they are basically cloud gaming games, but you still have access to those games. I cannot speak. Jeez, I'm talking so fast. I can't even bear to talk. Um, you do have the ability to play those games online with cloud gaming, and yeah, you can't play them offline, which sucks to be honest with you. But you still have that option to play those games. Not only that, you still get extra game trials to try out a game, and sometimes they do give out exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online. Very, very rarely, but they still have that option, which it's sometimes like maybe like 4 or 5 games that they're putting out, like Super Mario Odyssey. They do every like Black Friday or something like that. But other than that, like yeah, it's there. Every online service technically has their discounted games. So yeah, you're still there's always a different thing, but I feel like the weakest link of all is PlayStation. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. And it's greed. It's honestly greed, because they try to be very different with their PlayStation Portal. Which again, remember how the start of that console or accessory, that you can only use it while having Wi-Fi, and you can still technically do that. So not only that, you can still do cloud gaming on that thing, which you still technically need Wi-Fi to even play the game without even having the console, which is still cool, but you still can't play offline with it. So you still need Wi-Fi to play the damn thing, which is very, very annoying. When in reality, it doesn't really serve any purpose, and that's $200. So why am I spending $200 on something that's being innovated I'm sorry, I'm not saying that word correctly. I'm sorry, very illiterate person here. Um, but not being very uh smart about this. Because not only that, they're trying to resell us Last of Us Remastered after like the 50th time already. Trying to pass it out for $120, by the way. Um, so I'd rather have the fact that I have a console that has the better gimmick, the better games, the better support than just paying for the name. That's pretty much what it is. Everybody does not care except for the name, because everybody thinks like, oh, this is going to be like the Wii U. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Once the Switch 2 comes out, everybody's going to immediately flip, because honestly, the Switch 2 alone already is just a really cool console because it's big. Not gonna lie, it's like maybe like the size of, this is probably not the best example. This is like maybe the size of this book, to be honest with you. Like, this is the screen. The whole book is the screen. I don't know if this is completely accurate, but it's 7.9 inches in screen length. Yes, there's maybe like a little bit of borders, but it's not that big of a deal, because it's Nintendo. They're always going to have borders, and not only that, they're going to end up making an OLED version or light version, so whatever. But the Switch 2 has a 7.9-inch screen that runs at 120 frames per second. I believe that majority of all the handheld PC consoles don't have 120 frames per second, at least by far that I've noticed. So they're trying to still one up another, but I don't know. People still don't care. And then not only that, including the Joy-Cons that are on the sides, and that makes it even bigger and more comfortable. That's what everybody's been saying, that they made it more comfortable, blah blah blah. But still, people don't understand the justified of the price. So, again, if you buy a PlayStation 5 console, you are spending over $500, regardless. For a Nintendo Switch 2, you are spending $500 plus tax with the game. By the way, the game alone is $80. Yes, it's $80. I give you that. The game prices are a little steep. Like $80 is like, that's kind of like a tough bullet to bite down. I mean, $70 like fine, I guess, but $80 is kind of like, okay, like that's kind of like bad. But again, I recall that everybody on Twitter and social media and everywhere else, everybody was saying that GTA 6 is going to be $100. And that's just the base price of the game. No special edition, just the game itself. And everybody was going head over heels for that. So I would rather pay $80 for Mario Kart, a new Mario Kart game that we have not gotten since the Wii U times, which is back in 2014, 2015 or something like that. So I'd rather spend $80 on a new open world Mario Kart game. And yes, I've seen a lot of reviews just by people watching the trailer and watching gameplay and blah blah blah, saying that, oh, it looks boring. It's a Mario Kart game. What else would you want from it? It's a Mario Kart game. It's just a regular Mario Kart game. I don't understand that. Of course it's going to look boring. It's a Mario Kart game, but you still have the fun of playing the games. See, this is where it comes to mind that video games have lost the fun aspect of video games. Because now when you run into, like, say, for an example, Marvel Rivals or Fortnite or even Call of Duty, for an example, or even single-player games that come out nowadays, they lack the fun aspect. Yes, they visually look appealing because they're running at 4K and 60 to 120 frames per second, and they have like the new collabs of skins and stuff like that. But they lose the fun aspect. Remember back then, back in 2018 or before that, even way before that, a lot of video games were fun. Nowadays, everybody's just sweating on each other. It's not even funny anymore. And single player games, people only play it for either speed runs or they don't even play single player at all. So if I want to be 100% honest with you, yes, that's your own way to play, but for just a customer that just, goes to a 9 to 5 job or 9 to 6 job or whatever, and you just want to play a game for, whatever how many hours you play for, and just sit down and just pick up and play. That is what we need in this, at least this economic crisis right now and in this world right now, because honestly, I need that. I need that escape from playing the most excruciating experiences, especially on Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, even sometimes Grand Theft Auto Online, and just the whole political aspect that's going out in the world right now, and all the issues that's going on. We need that sort of type of fun to enjoy. Nintendo's literally answering our question or our wishes, and people still don't want to pay for that amusement to have fun. It's a Mario Kart game, okay? I've never seen anybody come up to me and just they only play Mario Kart. Mario Kart alone is just one of those games that you can just pick up and play and have fun. I've never pictured it in any different way. So, yeah, I'm gonna buy the Switch 2 with Mario Kart, regardless if ands or buts. Even if like even if the game is even double the price, I'm still gonna friggin' play it because it still bundles with the console and I'm saving money on top of that. So I'm gonna buy the Switch 2 bundle, regardless if ands or buts. Because $500, dude, I already have like the $80 game that's downloaded on there, or at least I have to download it on there, and it's worth it. Like I get to play that game anytime I want. Not only that, I still got AAA support. So Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII, Elden Ring. I've never played Elden Ring ever in my life, and now I get a chance to even play it. I know I have an Xbox to play it, but I want to play it handheld wise, so I can go to my girlfriend's house and she can play on her Xbox, and then I can just play while she's playing Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. And if GTA 6 supposedly that they said that it's going to be supported on Switch too, if that happens, then I'm gonna buy it on there. Like, shoot, that's a no-brainer to be honest with you. So I don't get the fact that Nintendo is answering our wishes and our questions about the Switch One to the point where everybody's like, it's a little expensive. A little expensive. The Switch OLED is $350 plus tax is $400. This is an extra $50 in tax depending on where you live. I don't know how much tax is in California to be honest with you. Um, but you are not spending an arm and a leg. A lot of people said that you're spending an arm and a leg and saying that, oh, this is $800 or whatever in total. Depending on what you are buying on day one, you don't again, Nintendo's not pulling a gun on your head and be like, you gotta buy everything that we sell. No, because really, realistically wise, that's what everybody's doing with PlayStation right now. Because everybody's kind of, I'm sorry to point the finger at Sony right now, and I'm the one that buys their headphones. I'm a big Sony fan with music. But the video game console industry, at least for PlayStation lately, has been kind of very, very bone and very, very dry. Bone dry and just kind of like, yeah, you guys are just going to pay for it no matter what. And it shows the definition of that. The whole Last of Us Remastered Collector's Edition, whatever it's called, they're trying to sell you remastered games that have already been remastered already, like maybe 4 or 5 times, for $120. They want you to pay basically retail price for both of those games when they came out and try to pass it on as like, oh, but it has like better graphics. Not really. And it runs at a solid 60 frames per second. Didn't you already do that for the last time you guys remastered it? Wasn't that the whole purpose of me paying for that the last time? But hey, everybody's gonna be willing to drop head over heels for that. But I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't understand people that are willing to not spend $450 or $500 in that matter to get essentially a good time. And again, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody and say that, like you guys are completely wrong, etc. And I'm being genuinely honest with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you are a horrible person in the whole world. I'm saying this out of respect. If you do not want to buy the console, don't buy the console. It's that simple. They don't have a gun to your head. They don't threaten you or anything like that. Don't buy the console if you don't want to buy the console. Don't waste anybody's time on social media saying that, oh, it's not worth it, blah, blah, blah. Come again, that most of the majority of the consoles nowadays range around like $500. Nintendo is still an underrated market, to be honest with you. So, not only that, the cheapest console, come again, the cheapest console currently right now is the Switch Lite, which is $200. And yeah, um, I, I don't think I should say anything more than that. They've been the most affordable, and they've been the most generous, to be honest with you, because they could have honestly popped in $500 just for the base price alone. Because yeah, they could do that, but no, they're not going to do that. $450 is not bad, and it's also not that good. It's kind of just like it's kind of hinting that like it could have been worse, but it also could have been better. It's kind of one of those things. Like 450 is kind of like, all right, I could see that. $500, that's an immediate like, oh, okay, I'm buying this because you're saving extra $30. What are you saving for PlayStation? You're not saving squat from it. You're just buying the console online and the game. Why is nobody not thinking this through? I don't get that. And a lot of people point out like, oh, but you have to pay for the Nintendo Switch camera. You don't have to buy that. It's just a thing that you can add to it, like the Xbox Connect. So, and not only that, the Switch 2 Pro controller and whatever that comes with that on day one that comes with. So you don't have to buy all that stuff on day one. Over time, you can buy those. That's what I did when I bought the Switch 1, and I was happy with it. I was happy with my Switch 1 at the time, and I got it day one, and I still enjoyed it till the very end, until that console was just like, you know what, it's done. So yeah, I don't get I don't get that, to be honest with you. I'm very, very just annoyed, to be honest with you. People saying that like, oh, the pricing of it seems out of whack. It's not out of whack, okay? You are getting an $80 game for basically half or maybe a quarter of the price, including the new console, with new innovated, or sorry, not even innovated, I can't say that word for some dumb reason. With new Joy Cons, a new console, not completely new because it's still the Switch 2, and I'll just say it like this: I'm not selling this correctly. You are getting an $80 game for a quarter of the price. You are getting a new console that has a bigger screen, better Joy-Con support, or not support, better Joy-Con experience because you don't have to slide on the rails and it doesn't feel all wobbly. And not only that, you have a new mechanic with those Joy-Cons. Plus, AAA support from different game developers. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So, I don't see any issue here. Like, we're getting what we wanted from since 2017. And now everybody's kind of looking at it like, yeah, but I can still do that in my RG Ally or whatever. But this is Nintendo, bro. They usually don't do any of this stuff. And we're just taking this for granted, by the way. So I'd rather take that chance and basically run with the punches than actually legitimately just kind of like, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna pay for the Sony one because everybody's playing that one. No, I'm going to play the Nintendo console because out of fun, not only that the value of the console itself, not only that just like the cool aspect. I mean, come on, you get both Joy Cons and you can use them as mice, I guess, if that makes sense. And you get voice chat. You finally get voice chat with that. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it still exists. It's still there. They acknowledge the fact that we were talking about, like, I hate this app. This app doesn't work. Yes, everybody still uses Discord. And yet, everybody still has voice chat on Xbox and PlayStation, and nobody uses those. They just use Discord. So, I don't get the simple fact that everybody just. Oh my gosh. Mm, I don't get that. And especially some people at my work, there's either half and half. Everybody's kind of like, oh, it's not really worth it, which is understandable. It's either because they just can't afford it. They're usually just honest with me. They're just kind of like, I can't afford it, or it's just because, like, it doesn't really appeal to me. There's not a lot of games that are kind of like wowing me right now because there's only technically two or three games that are coming out exclusively to Nintendo, which is fine. Like, that's usually what happens to every launch, like the launch setup, I guess, if it makes sense. Which is fine. Down the line, there's going to be better games, to be quite honest with you. But in my eyes, this is something that I've been wanting for so long. I wanted to play Cyberpunk on the Nintendo Switch for so long because already the game was running at crap. Because even on Steam Deck, it still runs at 30 frames per second. And I know on Switch 2 it runs at 30 to 40 frames per second, but still you are getting the simple fact that this is a console that can play Pokemon legitimately, not piracy. I don't condone that, but yeah, that's an option. But I'd rather have that experience than turning my head around and just being the most hateful person because, yeah, I don't get that. You were paying for a console that has the aspect of fun, and it basically identifies itself as fun and innovative. So, oh my gosh, I can't not say that word. I'm sorry. That word is just everybody overuses it, and I'm overusing it in this video. But I don't get it. Honestly, don't get it, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Again, this is not meant to make everybody upset, not meant to make anybody mad. It's just basically putting something out there that I feel like that should be addressed because a lot of YouTubers, or some YouTubers, not a lot of YouTubers, have been getting this all wrong and trying to say that this is very negative, this is like horrible, this is going to be the worst for the game, basically the gaming community. We are basically ignoring the fact that PlayStation right now is basically having this hold my beer situation and trying to pass on $120 remastered. Not only that, trying to sell you a console for $700 that doesn't really honestly make you want to buy it because, for one, it's $700. Not only that, it doesn't make a difference. There's nothing to it. There's not any difference. There's a lot of YouTubers that reviewed the PlayStation 5 Pro. There's no difference from the Slim. It's just bigger and more expensive. So, yeah, I don't expect anybody spending $700 for that console, but if you did, then we got our priorities wrong. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Again, this is not meant to make anybody mad. This is just meant to just inform you, and correctly inform you, at least by somebody that, is just a regular customer, like, honestly, a person that just walks into GameStop, picks up a console, and just has fun with the console. And not freaking treat it like it's an abusive child or whatever. People are saying that the Joy-Cons don't seem very sturdy. IGN literally physically showed you that they were shaking it down and stuff like that, trying to, break the thing off, unless, like, you, like, forcefully, like, like rip it apart like the Hulk or whatever. But it's sturdy enough for you to, like, legitimately, take it apart and, do whatever you want to do with it. And yeah, because I don't know what to say. There's a lot of things that Nintendo did that they fixed about the Nintendo Switch 1 and actually put it into this console, but people just are not happy with the price, which again is not that very bad, I guess, if that makes sense. He literally answered all the issues that we had, or the nicks, or what's the word? The the bad stuff about the Switch One and fixed it into this one, and now everybody's kind of just like, I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. So you mean to tell me that if we physically try to ask a company to fix something and they fix it and we won't pay for that, we are not gonna like accept that, or are we just gonna ignore the fact that the company actually legitimately listened to us? Yeah, we're those. We just want more out of it. So I don't know. I feel like this is just something that this is a hurdle that everybody needs to get over and kind of swallow down, because $450 ain't squat. It really isn't. I mean, you're spending $400 for a Switch OLED, and that's technically the same thing. So, yeah, I guess if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm just gonna let this video upload and see how this goes. Because honestly, I do not care. I'm still gonna buy the console in the end. Even if the negativity still spreads, I'm gonna be the only one that's gonna be in line enjoying it, and that's it. I'm still gonna do a review on it, obviously, when the console comes out in June, which is very, very close. Which is also another thing that I believe that maybe everybody else is also mad about, because it's coming very soon. But yet again, a lot of people on YouTube have been saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 has already been shipped since January or something like that. So it's technically like in our GameStops at this moment right now, or at least in their warehouses or whatever. So yeah, I mean, dude, it was already ready since the beginning, to be honest with you, before they even announced it. So yeah, it's yeah, it's here. It's just not here yet, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, if you guys are buying it, if not, whatever, that's up to you. But yeah, I'm still gonna buy it. I'm gonna still be satisfied with it. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a beautiful night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alrighty, guys. Bye.